What is going on YouTube? It's your boy the Chosen One, Jules Gotten In, and I'm back with another video. And this time I'm going to be talking about Tokyo Revengers, specifically chapter 202 to 204, what's been happening in the manga. Super hype, super crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? If you read the manga, you already know what I'm saying. You know, say. You already know. And man, shout out to y'all for the last video. Y'all showed me hella love, man. Man, Tokyo Revengers has been such a big part of me, even though I just started it not too long ago. It's already in my top 5 mangas. I ain't gonna tell you how high on the list it is. I'll say that for another time. But with that being said, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and drop the intro.
I'm running through your mind even when you're on the road. And I'm gonna smoke this dope before I head out on my own. Surrounded by people, but I still feel like I'm alone.
You guys can see from the title of the video and from the intro, today I'm gonna be talking about Tokyo Revengers, specifically chapter 202 to 204, the events and how I feel about everything so far. So with that being said, you already know I say this all the time. I ain't gonna do too much talking. Let's just jump right in. All right, so let's check with chapter 202. Kind of got to talk a little bit about 201 to talk about 202. So 202 leaves off where 201 left off. You see Snazu. I don't know how to say his name correctly, so if you make fun of me, Snazu, who was introduced once during the prior events when I forgot the dude that was Tomen's number 5 that ended up going to Tenjuku. Snazu was actually rocking with him. We didn't really see his face or anything like that. That's why he doesn't look so familiar. I had to do a lot of digging to find out who he was. So basically, leaves off. He has a gun to Takemichi's head, and basically he's saying now the boss will come. And then Mikey says, hey, is there anything you want to ask me? Like, why are you here? And Takemichi was like, hey, look, I just want to give you this. Mikey's like, what are you giving me? He's like, this is an invitation to my wedding. He's like, everyone's so happy. Hina's so happy. He said, except for you. And then Snazu, he gets mad. He's like, you shut up, blah, blah, blah. And then Mikey asks Snazu, hey, look, wait for me. I'll handle this. So then Takemichi goes on to say, like, hey, look, I'm just trying to help you. I want to help you. I want to save you. Like, it's not fair that everyone's happy and you're not. Like, you saved me. You saved everybody because, he disbanded Tomon, which was eventually going to cause problems in the future no matter what. So everybody was able to live a happy life. Like Draken avoided death. Aikun became a hairstylist. Kazutoro redeemed his life. Matsuya, he's good. Haki, good. He's a model. Like there's a lot of good positive things for Mikey not being in the picture. But for Takemichi, it's very important for Mikey to be in the picture because it just, Takemichi's whole goal was to save Hina, of course, and to save Aikun and to save Draken, as time goes on. But then he ends up, being super close to Mikey. They essentially become like brothers to each other. And that's why it's so vital to save him. So in this of current events in the manga, Takemichi is basically saying like, bro, like, it shouldn't be this way. You should be with us. You should be happy. You shouldn't have to do what you're doing now. Be in the same position that you were going to be in no matter what future I'm in. But Mikey's kind of silent. He's very vague this whole conversation. And ends up shooting Takemichi 3 times in the chest, which I was in shock. I was in super shock. I couldn't believe it. I didn't understand why, but it makes sense for the story where it's going and the character, because now it's not about saving Hina, Draken, and Aikun. It's about saving Mikey because he's the last one essentially left that was not saved. So basically, we get into 203. 203 is where we get the aftermath of Takemichi being shot. And basically Mikey's telling him like, look, bro, this is exactly why I didn't want to meet. I knew I was going to do this. I knew this was going to happen. And to me that hurt because I'm like, dang, bro, like y'all was boys. Even though like he wasn't as close to Mikey from the start, but became close because Mikey really looked up to him. Then finding out about the time leaping and everything like that. He was basically, because Takemichi also in 202 explained he can't time leap anymore. But he said he doesn't care. He's going to save him no matter what. Like, no matter what the cost is, he's going to save him, even if that was his life. And we've seen that in 202. So basically, Mikey just walks away. He goes up to the top of the building that they're in, the old bowling alley. And he's remembering Emma, Draken, his older brother. And just, they were like, how does it feel at the top? And, Mikey's like, yeah, man, the top is great. He's like, let's end this. So he jumps off. There's not a lot of content in these chapters, so it's going to be a little quick video, but I really wanted to push this out, give you my thoughts and everything. But then Mikey ends up just falling backwards, and Snazu's like, Mikey! Everybody's like, yo, this dude's about to jump. What the hell's going on? Everybody's like freaking out because people are seeing this now. And then Takemichi grabs him. And he's like, and he told Mikey, I won't let you die. I'm going to save you. And Mikey's in shock. And then we get 204. And I really want to heavily focus on this chapter because I wanted to get the first two out the way. They're not very content chapters. They're more like a little bit quicker pace to what's going on because it felt like it was going to be the end. Everybody was thinking Takemichi was going to die, Mikey was going to die. Like, everything's done. But you got to understand, no matter what, this is still a shonen. They rarely kill off main characters. We've seen it maybe in Attack on Titan. Akame got killed is not a shonen anyways. But you rarely see main characters die in shonen. You know what I mean? And I don't believe Code Geass is a shonen either. But I could be wrong. It could be a shonen, but whatever. So if you want to count Code Geass, Death Note is a shonen. Death Note, Code Geass, Attack on Titan. We don't really see main characters dying like that. And I knew it was going to happen in Tokyo Revengers. The whole goal is for him to be with Hina. At the end of the day, no matter if he loves Mikey, Draken, Aiku, whoever, his whole ultimate goal was to be with Hina. So, in that situation that we're in now, I knew what was going to happen. I kind of put pieces together. Mikey would be the new trigger. So we go to chapter 204, and Mikey's basically going like, bro, what are you doing? Like, I try to shoot. I shot you, bro. Like, I literally have you on death's door. Why are you trying to save me? And he said, I don't care about all that. He's like basically Takemichi's like, you know how Takemichi is. He's like, bro, this is not the real you, bro. Like, I want to save you, bro. Like, let me save you. Like, this is, that, this is not what you need to be doing. Like, you need to, keep giving a spill. And eventually it gets to Mikey, what Takemichi's saying. And he cries out to Takemichi, save me. Because most of this chapter is dialogue talking between the two. And Mikey trying to understand why Takemichi wants to save him so much. And Takemichi always gets through to everybody by his words. Mikey calls out to save him. They grab hands. And my boy Takemichi's back in 2008, first year of high school, and we finally get introduced to his mom. We don't really see moms much in Tokyo Revengers at all, or like parents in general. We don't, my fault. We don't see we don't see parents a lot in Tokyo Revengers. We don't really see that. So that was really cool to add in there. And like Takemichi being essentially a high schooler now. He's not in middle school no more. This is 2008 because the past that Mikey wants to change is 10 years ago. Not 12, because 12 years ago they were cool. Everybody was Tomen. Tomen ended 10. So this is really where we're hopefully going to see how Tenjuku was formed, how he came with how was Botan formed, how did all these Tenjuku members come to be under Mikey, like how did this all aspire? Hopefully we get a little more elaboration on now, and I believe Takemichi's going to prevent these events from happening, get through to Mikey, tell Mikey like, hey bro, like, you have us. Like, you don't have no reason to be dark. Losing Emma was vital. Throughout this whole story, I do have to put that out there. I can understand why Mikey always turns bad. He lost the most in the story. And my fault. He remembered Baji while he was about to fall off as well. It was Baji, his brother, and Emma. It wasn't Draken. That was my fault. I think Draken was in the mix, but I could be wrong. I read it it's been 2 weeks since those chapters came out. But besides the point, Mikey lost a lot through the whole Tomen thing. Even though Takemichi changed the future a lot, and prevented a lot of stuff in the past from happening, Emma still passed because of the events that he changed. I'm not blaming Takemichi for Emma dying. Kisuke Tetata he's a piece of crap. We know that. No matter what, he's the reason why all this is happening. He's just a very smart guy. He didn't have time leaping abilities, but his intelligence always stacked up to the time leaping ability until my boy got crapped. But anyways, so him losing Emma was crazy. He had that loss. He had the Baji loss, which happened when Takemichi went back to the future. It was said that was going to happen, so prevent Baji from dying and Mikey killing Kazutora. Takemichi was successful in stopping Mikey from killing Kazutora, but wasn't successful in stopping Kazutora from killing Baji. So he lost Baji there, and he lost his brother, and we get that deep backstory there that essentially Baji and Kazutora were the ones that, Kazutora killed his brother, but they were just trying to steal the bike from Mikey. So this story is so deep, and what Mikey went through, he's been going through stuff since he's a kid. So him being the way he is and always turning out in the future the way he is, I can't really blame it. And him having that dark I don't know how they said it, but that dark impulse inside him, I can see it. It makes sense. He has a lot of loss. He lost more than anybody in the story, if you think about it, because essentially Takemichi fulfilled his goal. He didn't have to go and do what he's doing now, but I feel like it's very vital to the story to keep it going for a little bit more, because Mikey is a very important character, and he deserves to be happy with everybody else. He deserves to be with Draken and like Kazutora, and forgiving Kazutora is a big thing. I think that's a lot of things he has to come as a person. I think what's gonna happen this next arc, really finding himself and trying to forgive these people for what they've done to him, only in order for him to move on and find peace. But we also got to keep in mind, majority of the story takes place when these kids are 13 or 15 years old. They're not little kids, so they don't have the same capabilities as an adult would to forgive people, to understand life, to understand these things, and try to grasp these things in a more realistic setting. Mikey, the biggest thing that stuck out to me, how he's in Botan, he's commanding Snazu to kill people. Like, bro, that's not Mikey. Mikey never kills nobody. Mikey's never about that. Like, Mikey's never been about that. So it's like, my fault. It's like, how? Why? So I guess in this next arc that we're about to go into, which I believe it should be the last arc, I don't see anything after this that we should keep this story dragging. Hina saved, Draken saved, Aikun saved, Mikey's the last one. We need to end this story, Brody. I ain't gonna lie, I don't want it to end, but it's like I don't see much more after this arc what could be left. I think it's gonna be a really long arc, a really good arc, because I don't think Mikey could be saved within 10 chapters. I think this should be a 20 chapter, 30 chapter arc, where Takemichi really has to dig in deep in this one and really, he might have to go back and forth a few times in order to get it right, but I think this should be maybe a 30, 40 chapter arc would be really good. My thoughts on the whole thing is, this shit is crazy. Like, I never expect Mikey to kill Takemichi. If he beat him up and then let him go, I get that. But there has to be something that happened in the past, 10 years ago, when he disappeared from everybody. Like, there has to be something that happened. There has to be a reason. There has to be why he would kill Takemichi, like, in the future. You know what I mean? Even though, he called out to Takemichi, he's all good now, he's a new trigger, which I knew Takemichi's time leaping ability was what it was, because this is what I knew. I knew the person that he triggers with has to want to change the past, and that's why Nato, he didn't go back into the past the one time when he wanted to go save Mikey. I would think that was in chapter 196, and he couldn't go back into the future. So I already put 2 and 2 together. Once I got to chapter 201, 202, I was like, if he grabs Mikey's hands, Mikey's the new trigger, because Mikey wants to change his past. And I feel like now the trigger makes sense. Like, his time leaping ability is not something he can use at will. It has to be with somebody that wants the desire to change the past just as much as he does. In this case, he wants to change Mikey's past. So that was a cool theory that I came up with, that I was like, damn, I'm right about this. So that was crazy. So now Mikey's the new trigger, essentially. So now every time, if he fails in the first time going back in the past, in the future, he has to always find Mikey and, dap him up. So I don't know how that's going to work. So I think that this arc most likely will be everything in the past, majority, come back to the future, wrap it up. Hina and Takemichi get married. But I'm going to be so pissed off if somebody else comes in there and ruins the freaking wedding. And because at the end of the day, we still have Hanma left. I'm sorry, I'm looking back. I'm just making sure. I keep hitting my mouth. But anyways, yeah, so we keep getting, because we have Hanma still. He left. He went rogue, whatever. He went far away after Tetsuya died. So we still have him. We don't know if he's going to come back up and pull up and do whatever. There's a lot of possibilities. So I can't say that I want this to be the last arc, because I love Tokyo Revengers. Trust me, it's the series I want the most right now. I don't want it to end, but I think it should end after this arc. I don't see what more they need to do, per se. Like, you know what I mean? With the story, because saving Mikey would be the last thing, unless Hanma comes and ruins the wedding, because that's how I see it hand out. He saves Mikey, wedding happens, end of chapter, everybody's happy. End of series, everybody's happy. That would be amazing. But it's Tokyo Revengers, you never know. So many plot twists, so many freaking loops and turns, and you think this is gonna happen, and then this happens, and it's such a beautiful series. I really enjoy the series, man. Chapter 202 to 204 has blown me away. When Mikey shot Takemichi, I was just in shock. I wasn't reading the chapter. I was just like, what the hell is going on? What is going on right now? And then in 203, Mikey wanting to take his life and end everything. Like, I was so in shock with this. This freaking manga has blown me away. And then 204, Mikey being the new trigger, like, so crazy, so crazy. But I want to thank you guys so much for the support and love on Tokyo Revengers. I greatly appreciate it. I promise, man, more videos to come out. I'm going to start doing individual character videos soon. I just kind of want to work a little hard on that to really dive deep in there. I really want to make a video on Izana Korikawa. Like, he's interesting as hell. I wish he would have got more screen time, but he didn't get enough, in my opinion. He was around for a lot of chapters, don't get me wrong, but he didn't get enough screen time, in my opinion. I would have loved to see him get more screen time, but that's just my opinion or whatever. Man, more videos for Tokyo Revengers to come, bro. This is my serious, this is my ish, manga on this channel. I know I haven't been doing my weeklies for my manga. That's going to be coming back soon, so be a look on that. But with that being said, guys, if you guys like the video, make sure to drop a like. If you guys want more from me, the Chosen One, Jules Nen, make sure to subscribe. It's free to subscribe. It doesn't hurt to subscribe, and it shows me love, and it makes me want to grind harder. I'm not gonna lie. Show the love, I grind harder. Not just kidding. I'm always gonna grind. But anyways, if you want to know when I'm dropping my next Tokyo Revenger video, make sure to hit that bell button for all notifications. So with that being said, you already know what I'm gonna say. Say is my signature, baby. You guys have a blessed day, a blessed week, a blessed month, and a blessed year. And as always, guys, it's your boy, the Chosen One, Jules Nen, and I am out. Hey, guys, please read that Tokyo Revengers. It's that gas.